Hello. Okay, we're picking up where we left off, which was this wasn't working. And so we had set post.id to 100, and I think actually what it really should be is, I think it's page.postid, I think is what my issue was, looking up in some of these page variables and stuff in I think that's what's maybe going on. What I'm really looking for is like they have these variables, but we want custom variables, and I know that they support it. Obviously, I've done it, but I haven't seen it actually um, work because I did the description here, um, which was which you can see on the page. It's you go to this. This is the description. So that's simple enough to do, but we need to see what is going on and why. It's probably under page is what it is. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to test it, and I'm going to go into the post that we were dealing with. We had that. Well, I set it to post ID, right? So now we need to change our layout file to use that instead. Layouts post, and we're going to change that to page.post ID. Oh, that's not in. We're not in edit mode. So this is page.post ID, and this may be what we're looking for, hopefully. And we're gonna pull up. Let's go back into here, and we will refresh. And let's check our code first. Oh, hey, we got 100. We got a 100. Awesome. So we successfully sent across, it looks like, oh, no, that's refer. Okay, that's fine. And yes. So we did go to 8080, hit, and then we put in our page post ID. So this is good. That's the mapping that I needed. I'm now getting something across. But it's failing still. And why is it failing? I don't know, but it's failing. So we need to figure out why it's failing and what we need to fix. So back to the terminal. And looks like we're still in the error file. Creditors. So we're going to reload the log file, go back down to the very bottom, and now we're hitting something different. This is good. Seeing different errors sometimes is just as exciting as seeing no errors. Started put, hit 100, processing, parameters, blah, completed, 500 internal server error, 57 milliseconds. Statement invalid, could not find table, hits. Okay, this is our issue. So there's something failing on the save, and we had that set up so that when save fails, we go through and we serve a 500 internal server error. So this is correct, but the question is why? Why can we not find the table hits? Since we do have the database and we did migrate the database, we should be able to see the table. What should I do? What's a good way to look at the database structure? Well, it's Rails environment equals production, and we'll do rake db setup. Okay, now I'd be curious to see if that made a difference. 500 error. Sorry, something went wrong. Error log, Shift G. Oh, same thing. Statement invalid, could not find table hits. Yeah, so there's something wrong. Something's not lining up. Something is not working the way we want it to work. we're starting to have some really weird issues that is not allowing this to work. So this is what you're getting into when you're. This is development. Things just don't work, and you have to figure out why. And then once you do, it's all great. But it's not. It's not simple. Let's see. Query. Rails query SQL Lite. Okay, so yeah, so we can try running this, right? We'll try running the SQLite 3 command. And we just want to kind of go into the database and kind of explore and see what's going on. So db/production SQLite 3 command not found. Crap. Okay, so we don't get that, but we can do the Rails console, and that takes us into IRB, and then we do hit. We can do hit.all, and it gives us error. No such table hits. Select hits from hits. So why is this not? Is it because it's currently running that it doesn't like me trying to deploy to it? Or okay. I think what we really need to do is start moving. We need to move that whole process into quit. Yeah, we need to move that whole process into the actual deployment. To move the deployment method around. So instead of deploying or running the deployment stuff during the build, we're going to run that instead. Oh no, I always do that. Dockerfile edit. We're going to run that during the during one of the init scripts. So so we need to go back to our documentation, and we're going to find the thing that talks about running init scripts. Running command, nope. One-shot command in new container. Okay. Container administration. Running scripts during container startup. Okay. So Passenger Docker uses the base image Docker init system, sbin my init. This init system runs the following scripts during startup in the following order. All executable scripts in etc myinit.d. If this directory exists, the scripts are run during, I guess, in lexical order. Okay, so this is what we want to do. We want to move a script into here. So we're going to go into our Docker file, and we're going to add, we need to add, and we'll call it, let's call it migrate.sh, and we will have it add it into this this directory. So that's going to basically put that in there, and then when this whole thing deploys, it'll run that script. Well, actually, I should probably just complete this and make sure migrate.sh. Okay. Alright, so now we've got that changed. Then we need to actually create the migrate.sh file. So migrate.sh. And then inside of that, we want our Rails, environment, production, and if I could spell, D-U-C-T-I, okay. And then rake, db, migrate. And let's, do we need to run a create as well? We're not seeding anything. I could run setup instead. Let's run setup instead for the moment. Okay, so we've got that updated now. So we need to get that code up to the server. So git pull origin master. We'll pull those changes in. And our deployment should be a little bit shorter this time because we're running the, well, I guess it's not that much shorter. Yeah, it's still going to pull in all the, it's still going to do this bundle install on the front end, but during the build process instead of afterwards. But the migration is going to run afterwards, which also kind of means that we don't get to see the output of it, and we can't confirm that it actually worked. But we should be a little closer. Okay. Yeah. Installing packages take a little bit of time. How's your weekend been? That's great. Yeah. Come on. There we go. Yep, come on. A little more. It is, you don't have to do this every single time, or it doesn't have to run the bundle install every single time, but if you change something about the package, like I added a new file, or if you change a file, then it will rerun it all. So, as long as you're not making any changes to your files, you don't have to sit and wait for this while it builds it. Okay, successfully built. Awesome. Give it a shot. Might still be working. Sorry, something went wrong. Grr. Docker bash to AB. Command not found. Oh, docker equals bash. That's not right. There we go. And now we'll go back into our error log, var, log, nginx, error log, shift G. Could not find the table hits. Okay, why? Why is such a simple thing not working? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it, I'm going to let it create it. So I'm going to remove the contents. Let's go into our blog API data folder. You see there's a couple things in here, and we want to remove them. So we're going to remove the development, we're going to remove the production, and we're going to remove the schema. Okay. The reason for that is Nope, that's not here. We need to go home / blog blog backend. The reason for removing those is we're going to let it do it. So we're going to run our deploy again. As you can see, it was much faster because we didn't change anything about it, and it should have hopefully recreated blog API data. No such file or directory. Oh, because it's not /data, it's just data. And there's nothing in it again. Something is not working. Something is not firing or running or why? I don't know why. I don't know why could it. It just doesn't want to mount this stuff correctly. And it's not running the command. I don't know why. 0744. Oh, this looks different. Okay. Probably because there's no database. Probably what it's going to say. Can't open. Unable to open database file. Well, yeah. You didn't create it. Why are you not creating it? I'm giving you scripts to run. I'm giving you... I'm also not getting the outputs that I'm supposed to be getting for these things. Home app, blog, API, Vim, DB, schema. What? Oh, oops. Why is the DB folder empty? I think that's the basis of the problem, is that when I'm mounting that folder, it's pulling in nothing, and so it doesn't know of anything to run. So I'm running these things, and it's not working because they're not there. Okay, let's remove that complexity for the moment. We're gonna let it do its own thing. We're not gonna mount the folder. We're not gonna do that stuff. So inside of our deployment script, we're going to not do this at the moment. We're going to copy that out, right? And then we can place that down here as a comment to save it for later. That's not the save button, that is. And then when we mount this, it's not going to persist. The data is not going to actually save anywhere, but hopefully we'll get something to work. So this is very frustrating. So we're going to exit out of that. We're going to go into root Alright, and then we're going to get full origin master, take the updated files, then we're going to sh deploy. We're going to have to wait for that build process to run again. Great. But this time I'm not attaching these things or doing anything like that. So this should work. I mean, one of the things I could do probably is I could have my deployment script move the appropriate files into that folder, and then it attaches it, and that way it has access to it, and it has the database, and nothing's getting stripped or ripped out and overwritten and stuff like that. So there's definitely things that can be done to fix this. However, are they appropriate, or are they, really what we're after? Because eventually, I am going to be moving to a full database using Postgres, and this was just for now, just so we can get this deployed and kind of like make sure it's working. This wasn't supposed to be a drawn-out 2-episode deal. But, sometimes in development, things that should be really simple are just not. So, yeah, expect the unexpected and just keep on pushing through because, now we know. Now what did we learn? We learned, well, don't do this. We learned it's probably more work than it's probably more work to get a SQLite database working with Docker than it is to get a Postgres database or something working with Docker. So, which may also not be true. But sometimes really simple things can be really difficult, and sometimes things that you think are really difficult can be really simple. I'm kind of getting that feeling with the Tetris game at the moment, where some of the things that I thought I was going to be stuck on for episodes, I actually got through pretty quickly and was able to cover a bunch of them in one episode. So that was really good. I'm really glad that it worked out that way, and it's kind of showing. Oh, why did I run that again? I don't know. Oh, it's getting long. It's getting. What now? Still? Really? Okay, so, well, same thing. Docker PS, Docker bash, BF7, and vim var log nginx error g. What is it now? Unable to open the database file. Why? I am not cd home app blog API cd db, and there's stuff in there, but there's no database file. So did my script not get run? I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run it myself. Rails environment equals production rake db setup, and I want to see some output. Okay, good. Create table hits. Good. Finally. First time I've seen that. And still getting 500 errors. Now I need to figure out why. So vim. Oh, just press up until we find the command, because we did that recently. Shift G. This looks different. Okay, good. Something different. Statement invalid. Attempted to write a read-only database. Okay, so it looks like a permissions error, so we're going to chown Chown help. I want to see what the commands are. If I can do I need a recursive? Yes, R, operate on files and direct as recursive. So we need a capital R. So we want chown minus capital R app, and we'll do home app or slash home app blog API. All right, now what happens? So now I should have given it permission to write to the file. Okay, back to our errors. Statement invalid, attempt to write a read-only database. Why? Okay, so just for the purpose of figuring this out, I'm going to cd into the database. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to chmod 777 for production, and that's like the max permission I can give anything that's like fully, completely open and allow everything. So if that doesn't work, then I'm very confused still. But is it the same error? Yes. Statement invalid, attempt to write a read-only database. Why is it read-only? I don't understand. I've given permissions to that file, specifically to that file, to do anything with it. This is very, very frustrating. And this was supposed to be a simple, 30-minute, one-episode video of like, okay, here's how I deploy with Docker. Now this has turned into at least an hour-and-a-half issue. But welcome to development. Yeah, production is full read and write and execute for all three. Why? What is the issue? I don't understand. I don't understand why it thinks that it's still a read-only database and why it's not opening it up. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to think about this. I think what I'm going to have to do is switch it to Postgres. We're just going to have to make the switch to a real database right off the bat, because I can't get this to work without... I feel like if I continue... yes, I can get it to work, but I feel that if I continue going down this path and continue chasing the rabbit down the rabbit hole, I'm going to lose so much time that I might as well have just done it that other way first. So there comes a point, this is critical in development, especially when you're dealing with deadlines and on teams and stuff like that. You have to, there's a bit of business to it, and you have to think of anything in development, anything can be done. Anything you can imagine can be done, but how long is it going to take? And there comes a point in time when you're working on something and you realize this is going to take longer than doing it this other way, and you have to make a choice. You know that changing it to the other way is it was a part of your future plan, or it wasn't really what you were hoping to do. But trying to get this other thing to work, which should have been really simple, is just not working. And it's there again. There comes that point when you really need to make that decision and go, no, I'm going to stop chasing this rabbit down the hole, and I'm going to switch to doing it a different way. And I've reached that point. So in the next episode, we will be covering switching this from the current SQLite 3 database into using a full Postgres database. And hopefully that will give us what we need. And we can hopefully get that through that in one video, as this shouldn't take too long. Well, it shouldn't have taken this long. So, yeah, I will see you guys next time. If you're still hanging on to this video, thank you very much for watching. You're very dedicated. I know this gets boring, but this is it. If you want to see what real development is like, welcome. I will see you guys next time. Thank you.